Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back to And Just Like That, Season 3, Episode 8, Happily Ever After. Not, I don't think so. Try again. Wrong. Pick one. There ain't no happily ever after. Not for us fans. So, if you caught part one, this is the second part, which is dedicated to Carrie specifically and her maniacal relationship with Aidan, because there's no other way to coin the phrase maniacal, because at this point she's either being seduced by Duncan the Hobbit or she's being what I like to call what you doing, Carrie? What you doing and who you doing investigation from, Aidan, the man that she claims that she's been with for the last 20 years in a relationship in her mind. You know where this is going to go, right? It's going to go straight downhill, and I'm going to take you for the ride, baby. Come on, take this ride with me, because, I'm tired of being alone in this. And I'm not, because I see you guys in the comments and viewing, and oh my God, we'll address that at the end of the video because you guys are amazing. All right, let's get into it. It's not a lot, but it's enough to wet your whistle. So, scene open. We have Carrie and Aidan coming up her stairs from the mansion that she owns, and she's carrying I guess a body bag, and so is Aidan. I mean, how to get away with murder bag. I mean, luggage. I've got to keep this together. My first impression was like, what's in the bag, Aidan? Who are you planning to murder, Aidan? What's in the bag? Thank God that I wasn't the only one who thought of that, because the writers obviously had that theme going through as well. Because my first thing was like, so where's the pitchfork? Where's the digging apparatus? And where's the guns? Because as they're going up the stairs, she's like, oh my God, what a wonderful surprise. Yet again, not too much, because she did give him the keys to their home that he can use at will whenever he felt inclined to come by and, dig her. This is going to be kind of weird. Well, I'm sorry. It's not going to be kind of weird. You guys, you know it's weird, right? I mean, you know this, right? Like, you're not in denial, right? Most of you viewers are watching this either with me or watching recaps, and we've all come to the conclusion that this crap is crap, and it's weird, and it's cringy, and it's just not good. Good. We're on the same page. Great. Let's get into it. So, as she's going up the stairs, he says to her, "Oh, you finally got a carpet." Sure. I mean, I guess she's closer to getting that lamp I keep waiting to see. So it's a somewhat piece of, it's not a furniture, it's a decoration, and it's purple. And he makes a comment about it being purple. And she's like, what about purple? And he's like, I love it. And she's like, oh, we're going to get along real well. I do find it funny that she's the one helping him carry his murder bag. I mean, luggage. Little bit of a rant there. I'm up. I'm awake. That's all, folks. So as they go into Carrie's old apartment that was just cut and pasted into this new home, because y'all see it, right? You realize that the whole closet and that whole view of her studio, it just looks exactly like her apartment. And they just, I don't even think they cut and paste. I think they built the faux mansion around that set, because it looks exactly the same to me. And sure, it's the only place that's furnished. So they didn't have to do anything. They just had to plug and play. So as they go inside and she drops the murder weapons, no, I'm not going to stop. Don't make me. Onto the floor. She says, what's in the bag? And he's like, can you believe that I'm going to be here for more than 2 days? Impressive. What does that mean? 3 days? We don't know yet. Wait for it. It's gonna get better. I want you to understand something, that when I talk about this, I'm talking about how the writers are making us try to drink the cow milk. I don't know if that's there's a sarcastic remark. I can't remember what it is right now, but they're trying to make us believe that this is good and that we cannot foresee things, or we foresee things that never transpire, or transpires in a different way. And none of it makes sense. So when I speak about this, I'm putting myself in the position of this maybe being a real story, off planet somewhere in an alternate universe. And I would be sitting there looking like a bird or a cat watching this stuff. So as he says, I can't believe I'm going to be here more than 2 days. And she's like, oh my God, that's great. You know, there goes this little banter where he goes into her closet and he pushes her clothes over to the side and she does her little eek sound. And he laughs because it's like, oh, you know, you should see your face right now. You know, the same Carrie stuff where she always is so particular about everything around her house, which is, I'm sorry, not around her house, everything but her house, which are her clothes and her shoes. And she's like, listen, you could put your stuff in this room. I can't really see the room because we don't really get a full version of the room, but apparently it's a tiny closet based on her standards. That's a standard closet in a New York City apartment. Believe it. Sometimes that's even somebody's room in a New York City apartment. Scary. Sad, but true. Remember, this is a mansion. So this is I guess, the cat's room. That's what she says to him. And he's making a funny that I can't believe in this entire house, this is the room that I'm going to get. And that's the closet. She goes, well, what did you think? So, you know, I know what I think. I think that she doesn't like to share. Shocking, isn't it? I know. I just picked that up. And, you know, he's like, well, I hope you have no plans for the rest of the day, for the rest of the night, for the rest of the week, yada, yada, yada. Translation, you're stuck with me. I have no choice. I have a murder to plan. So you need to be a witness, as you've already gotten your fingerprints on the murder bag that I made you carry up the stairs. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You'll understand why I feel this way. This may not be what is happening, but I feel that this is the way they're going. Just a little bit. Un chipitito, chipitito. Okay? Now that you all know that I'm Boricua and I'm Puerto Rican, I am going to go swing in and out of English. Feel free to fill in your own language in between. I love to see it. I love to know about different cultures. I love to do anything but watch the show. So if you want to go into the comments and you want to start, like, you know, chit-chatting with me and chit-chatting with each other, please do so. How about it? Something's got to give from this show because I'm not getting nothing. Nothing. I've said this before. Nothing. Okay? So it is very clear that they're going to have intimate relations, and that was his plan. But of course, she interjects the fact that at 7:30, she needs to go downstairs to Duncan Hobbit because they have to share notes on their book. Translation, I want to hear him tell me how wonderful I am and how this and that I am, and I want to be seduced again. You know, you saw my last video, how I feel about that scenario going on over there. Next scene you have is finally they had their intimate relations and they're asleep in the bed, and she looks at her phone and it's 7:20 on the dot apparently, and she's got 10 minutes to get ready, and she's trying to wake up Aidan, the murderer, and he's like, oh, is it 7:20 in the morning or in the evening? And they just go on to this, oh, it was a wonderful nap. And she tells him, I need to go downstairs to meet my other boyfriend that you're slowly going to kill when you find out how much I am into him. That may be something I interjected. I had to. There's nothing going on. Nothing in the show. Nothing. So he's like, oh, so what are you going to be, like an hour? Oh, no. He's not a minute man. I mean, he's not, he just doesn't take a minute. It's going to take much longer. Mm-hmm. Well, how much longer? This is Aidan speaking to Carrie. Hours. It'll be hours. I'm like, hours of what? Because, first of all, when did we establish that they're doing this? Like, I thought that they were just giving each other their chapters and then they go off into their own little corner and then they read and then they come back and now they're going over, like, what are you doing for hours? Asking for a friend. So I'm not part of the plot of the murder and I become part of the judge, jury, and executioner of what's probably going to happen in this whole scene. Okay? So he says, hours. Okay. And she's like, yeah. And he's like, she starts to walk out of the room and he asks, so what do you got to eat? I know she never has anything to eat. So is the answer that she gives shocking? Of course she doesn't have anything to eat. Are you freaking crazy? What are you, stupid? She goes, I always plan to go to the grocery store. I've never seen her step foot in a grocery store. I've seen her step foot in a pharmacy, CVS, Walgreens, Rite Aid, whatever the hell that is. I don't recall. And I'm talking about this series. Maybe in Sex and the City, and I highly doubt it because she doesn't know how to cook. I think she cooked once. No, she actually did cook in this series. She cooked for that podcast guy, poach eggs. She claims she knows how to make salmon, yet I've never seen her, and nor would I ever want to eat anything from her. She doesn't look like a cook person that I would feel comfortable tasting anything. Mm-hmm. So this goes on to, she comes back into the room and I find it very convenient that he's looking at his phone and then he starts to give out his rendition of his issues, which is that he has texted his son, the Manson child, Wyatt, at 5 times. And she's like, so what's going on? And he's like, oh, I don't want to tell you. Oh, he is good at a manipulation because when I rewatched this, I was like, you're good. I like that. And a little scary too. Okay. And he goes on to tell her that when he came back from the anti-murder form that they sent him to so he can stop trying to kill people, he decided that he wants to live permanently with Kathy. And that he doesn't understand why. When did he become the bad guy? And that blah, blah, blah. And she starts to ask, so why do you feel that way? I don't know. I guess, he loves Kathy more than me. And she goes, oh, is that why you are able to stay now here for more than 2 days? So why didn't you tell me this before? Because Aidan says, I didn't want to ruin our afternoon. Translation, I wanted to have sex before I mess up the rest of your time. And, I go back to thinking to myself at that point, yet again, she doesn't ask questions. I would like to know how did he, if I was, the girlfriend or whatever this is, the 20-year faux relationship, I would be thinking, how did you get out of the Hotel California for more than 2 days? Welcome to the Hotel California. Such a lovely place. Such a lovely face. I'm not going to stop singing. Since they've done the karaoke and y'all have had to watch that, y'all going to have to listen to me sing. And yes, Hotel California is right up there with one of my top 10 favorite songs. And all I kept thinking is like, how did he get out? And I would have been like, why are you here? From before. But of course, they needed to get out the semantics, which is sex. And Carrie, she doesn't want to know. Let's get real. And why do I say that? Stay tuned, because now we're going to figure out what the hell's going on here. So as this scene starts to end, she's trying to comfort him in his faux despair about his child now wanting to leave and live with Kathy and Bob, the Stepford boyfriend, who I am surprised has not murdered her either, because she probably hasn't told him that they had sex being Aidan and her. And Homer is away for a month, so maybe he's gotten, in that bag a month worth of supplies, in theory. So as she feels sympathy, she tells him, I am going to tell Duncan the Hobbit that I'm not going to do our session today. And he's like, no, don't do that. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Why you do that? Why? And she's like, no, it's okay. It's okay, sweetie. You're manipulating me, and I know, and we know, and we know, and I know, and you know that I know that this is all bullshit. Okay, are you sure? Yeah, no problem. I can look at Hobbit later. Okay, thank you. And she walks out. So he got his way. He came in unannounced, got laid, and manipulated his way into making sure that Carrie doesn't spend hours with Duncan until he figures out what the hell's going on in this relationship. And when I say relationship, I'm not talking about his relationship. I'm talking about Duncan and Carrie. So this is why I'm saying, he's like, what you doing, Carrie? Who you doing? And I came to kill. So there's not a lot of scenes with, murderous Aidan and manipulative or manipulating or being manipulated Carrie. Last week she was seduced. The next scene you have with them is they're getting ready to go to the Charlotte opening of the gallery. And he is trying to ask her which shirt, which to me, I have a very large television screen. And I couldn't tell the difference from either one of them. I didn't even know there was a different blue. Apparently, blue number 1, blue number 2, she picks blue number 1. And then she again asks him what is in those bags. So there's something in there. I'm not crazy, because when she put down that bag when he first got there, it was kalunk. Guns, shovel, duct tape, mask, formaldehyde. Pick one. And he's like, tube socks. I'm like, that sounds like a gagging apparatus. I can see that. I can visualize this murder happening. I can do that. Sounds great. And they are making this banter about, can I enter the premises? And she's like, no. And then he enters the premises and he starts to ask, hey, can we ask Duncan to go out to dinner with us tonight? Translation, hey, I want to meet this guy so I can find his weakness, and then I can plot out this, plan that I have to destroy his life and yours so I can keep you to myself. She says, why would you want to do that? Because we live in this house with him. Here we go with French. Oui, bonjour, parlez-vous français? No. There's no we. You don't live here. Okay? You just fly in and fly out and you're making up excuses, but I'm not going to go on that rant. I've covered that many times before. But now it's we. Since we live here in this house with him, I want to get to know him. And she goes, it's not that kind of neighborhood. And I don't want to. In short, that's what she meant. And he's like, but so wait, what do you guys talk about? For hours, I would be asking the same question, because if my mans came to me and be like, hey, listen, the sex was great. Thank you for the lunar. And then I got to go downstairs and go talk to someone for hours. I'm going to have a lot of questions. Mm-hmm. So I am totally with Aidan trying to figure this out. I'm not with the way that he's trying to do it. Because if you expect me to believe, I kind of believe that the writers are making it that Manson Wyatt is wanting to live with Kathy. Otherwise, how did he get out from Hotel California? And I do believe that he thinks that he has a life here in New York. So they're making it seem that way. But in no way, shape, or form do I not believe that he also is wanting to fight, because he's digging. He's not digging for gold. He's digging. He's looking to find out who the hell is the man under the floor. So then he proceeds to tell her, so you guys just talk about the book all day. That's it, for hours. And she's like, yes. And I don't know anything about him and I don't want to. I believe that. You want to know why? Why was she? Because she already has to deal with Aidan's problems, right? So she's trying to keep the fire burning and still being a consultant to him with his personal life. She has to deal with Miranda and her alcoholish bullshit. She has to deal with now vertical Charlotte. She doesn't really talk really about Seema and her problems. She doesn't offer help in any capacity. But if she starts to get into the Hobbit, Duncan, life at all, then she's going to have to realize that he's a human and that he may have problems, and all that gushing and gooing and oohing and, you're wonderful, oh my God, and all that will be gone. She needs a space and a place and a person to focus only on her and what she wants. Because remember, this is Carrie's world, and we're all just living in it. And I say Sarah Jessica Parker, Michael Patrick King, and whoever else is writing this garbage. Gets better. He's like, I don't believe you. Well, you shouldn't. Because, as we were told, you've been in this relationship for 20 years. And maybe you don't follow that train of crazy from Cuckoo Carrie from last episode. But you know that 20 years ago, you tried twice. She cheated on you. You never got married. And then you left. Carrie doesn't seem to remember that, but that's okay. We've already dealt with that rant in my other episode. Rant review. But he knows, and plus he feels guilty because he slept with Kathy, and he thought that this was going to be a much bigger impact on her, but she took it very well. So well that even I would be freaked out. I'm like, you okay with this? You remember that? Remember she was like, yeah, cool. That sent him over the edge. Okay? That part sent him over the edge. So now he's here looking to find out who are the people in his neighborhood, because she mentions this is not Mr. Rogers. And he's like, got it. Now he is at Charlotte's Bonanza, interrogating Adam the gardener and Seema about who is the person living under, or the cat living under their home. And as I mentioned in my first part of this, they both turn around and he's asking them, hey, so who's this guy? What do you know about him? And Adam says he's a meanie. And then he says, huh. And then he asks Seema the same question, and she says he's a meanie. So he's not getting any intel. And literally, that's it. Well, the next scene, it's not technically with him, but this is when I said that the show ended very quickly. I felt like there was a missing part to this, and I thought I changed my remote. I'm like, what happened? She is sitting at her desk typing some thing. I can't even remember what the words. Something about she doesn't want this bird to fly away. Then the next thing you have is with her and Aidan in the bed. And I guess he's the bird that she's happy to see and not fly away. And that was it. So we don't know how long Aidan is going to be here for. I don't think he brought clothes. I think that he is plotting. I think that there's going to be a showdown with the farmer and the hobbit. I'm almost sure of it. Because he's not stupid. Well, he's creepy. And I feel bad. You know why? Because maybe the character was always creepy and we just never noticed it before. Though in my mind, I just felt that he was always way too invested in Carrie. But what they have done with him now is almost, like I said, maniacal. And Carrie, well, do you really want to know how I feel? Well, I think we all know how we feel about Carrie. And this thing with Duncan and them, it's just, I heard it's going to be 13 episodes. So we're in episode 8. So 9, 10, 11, 12. I got 5 more weeks of this. Do you love me? Do you love me? Do you love me? Do you love me? Now I'm gonna be here more. Tell me now. Guys, this is all I got. I am here for the next 5 weeks and beyond. But I did count it out and I figured I have to stick it out with you guys. I love you guys. Oh my God, I love you so much. I know it's weird because this is more a parasocial relationship type of thing, but the love that I feel from your comments and it emulates towards everything that I'm doing. I keep saying this, the return on this investment is phenomenal. So let's go into the last part of this because I will have some things I want to say and I don't want to make this part too long because it takes forever to upload. So stay tuned. Don't go away. Okay. To almost end this video, I have a few wonderful statements to make. One, as I always say, thank you. I have not had time to go into all my comments and I see you guys commenting. And after I do this video, I'm going to spend the rest of the day going into my comments and responding to almost every person that I can tonight. I promise you that. You guys, I wish I could think as quick as some of you who make these funny remarks. Because I'm coming in raw, I'm coming in whatever I feel, whatever comes out of my mouth. But some of you guys have come up with some really funny things that I wish I could have thought of myself. So I appreciate you telling me and making me laugh. I cannot tell you how much that makes me smile. Because it just brings in this whole group together. And even if I make it to 1,000 subscribers and I stay at that, I'm happy with the group of people that I have come to listen and watch their comments and you going back and forth. And I love your engagement with each other. And please continue to do that. Respectfully, please. I do ask that. No one here has to be mad. No one has to go after anyone. We all have our own opinions and I'm okay with that. And you need to be okay with that. Don't be disrespectful. But I do like the fact that I watch other people speak to other people. And I think it's a beautiful thing. So I want to thank you for that. Secondly, I finished Downtown Abbey, and I say this because I do watch other shows than this nonsense, because if I don't, I will be the one plotting not good stuff. So I finished watching Downtown Abbey. Season 3 was one of the darkest seasons, one of my favorite seasons. I am waiting for the last movie to come out, which is coming out in the fall. I've caught up with Gilded Age, which is great. I'm in and out of watching Smallville. Somebody save me. Oh my God, that song. I never skip it. That intro to Smallville, phenomenal. Yes, I'm a DC girl. I'm a comic book fan. Well, comic fan. I am now watching Superman, the animated series, only because I know Superman 25 James Gunn is out and I am afraid to even talk about it online. Have you seen what's happening? Do you know what's going on out there? Have you guys gotten inundated with Superman reviews? I don't even know what to call that. I don't even think it's reviews. There's like a split divide there. And I'm like, you know what? It's okay. I'll wait till it comes out on streaming. I'm not going to go see it. I'm scared. And if I do, I'm not going to review it. I don't know what's going to come. It's like an attack. So I am watching Superman, the animated series. And yes, I know that I am an adult. Who cares? I still watch Justice League, the Unlimited series. I like it. I like that kind of stuff. So I want to know from you guys, what are you watching? Please tell me you're watching something else other than, of course, Just Like Crap or that or whatever the freak they want to call it. Give me some of your shows. And I'm going to tell you, I am not too happy with some of the shows that are out there. I've said this before. It's not a lot, but I'm curious to hear what everybody else is watching. I have not watched Severance. I might pick that up. Sometimes I like that. Sometimes I don't. Just to give you some context. Also, I created my second channel, Timeless New York City, last year, and I made it faceless, and I use an AI generated voice, though it's my scripting, because last year I was very sick with my diabetes and the shortage, which you know how I felt about that if you watched my earlier video of the medication that I was taking. I was in a really bad state. Okay. And I couldn't come on camera. Between having to physically go to work and try to maintain myself through a lot of help with my doctor, I still wanted to stay creative. I still wanted to stay, sharp. So I created that channel and I started reviewing other shows that I miss and like, and I wish they were there now. So that's the backstory of that channel. I had to make it faceless because the physical demand of me getting on camera and doing what I got to do in the way that I do this was just, it was too much. I couldn't physically handle it. But I didn't want to lose my will to do this. So I've seen some of you guys go to that channel. Again, some people don't like AI generated voices, but that is my way of doing that channel. If you enjoy some of the shows that I put on there, just take a look at it. And I also wanted to learn a little bit more about editing because I knew I came into this channel. I had to do that. And it was a great creative process for me. And I learned a lot and I'm still learning. Now, the last bit of news, I am still with my back pain. And I'm going for an MRI next month to find out what the hell's going on back there. Just wanted to give you guys an update that's why sometimes I'm fidgeting or I'm sitting down or it still hurts, but it's not as bad as it was before. But my doctor does want me to go for an MRI. Am I nervous? Of course. But like what I said, aging is a privilege, not a right. And you have to go through the process, though it's not the best sometimes, but it is what it is, And so I'm going to give you one tidbit of myself as we go through the next 5 weeks. So when it comes to, I didn't cry. Video number 2, and I'm going to try to make it through this because this is very personal. I really feel myself welling up. So one bit of personal. The reason why I get so emotional about aging and dying and people passing away, I'm holding it in. So I lost my sister many years ago. She was 30. She had a rare condition, and I can't do it. I just can't. So stop. I will try to get into that at another time, but that is why I get emotional. I'm going to make a funny because I have to get out of this. She was my sister from my father's side, so I always call her my half sister. But I can hear her in my head because she always yelled at me. She goes, "I'm not your half anything. I'm your sister's sister." So if anybody else goes through that with family, I don't do that on purpose, but see, I get one bit of information to you guys little by little. Okay? So, thank you all for everyone for watching. Oh my God, all my new subscribers. The comments, the super thanks. You guys are amazing. Ugly cry face? Maybe a little. So, have a wonderful, wonderful, blessed day. I love you. Mwah.